Hello and welcome to Chit Chat and All That with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett. Thanks again for joining us for your weekly dose of chatter, talking about all sorts of things that we usually discuss around the kitchen table.
Your weekly dose of happenings from our kitchen table.
Or rather, chatting around it. Not what actually goes on the table. There's not much space on this table.
Oh gosh, no. That's got me thinking. Other than eating crafts, my mind's boggling, Pen. What do you do on your kitchen table?
Oh, all sorts. Pull up a chair. Put the kettle on. Welcome.
I must say, Pen, your hair's looking very lovely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have been for my biannual haircut.
Is that what you do? Biannual? Does that mean twice a year? Just checking.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Twice annually. No, I can't think of the correct phraseology. You're a wordsmith.
But I'm not a sums person, and that feels like it's moving into the realms of mathematics to me. But your hair does look lovely nonetheless.
Thank you very much. I have to confess, I'm not very keen on going to the hairdresser.
No. Why not?
I don't like sitting still for 3 hours.
3 hours? What are they doing?
Well, I have a confession, of course, nobody will have realised, but I do occasionally have my hair highlighted.
Never.
I do, which I don't really know why I spend money on my hair, because the majority of my life, my hair is under a hat.
I can confirm this is true.
Yes. I mean, I do take it off when I come indoors, hence the reason why I'm sitting here now without my hat on. But most of the time, I have to wear a hat when I'm working. Weirdly, I cannot work without a hat on.
What kind of work? Anything? Like if you're chopping a tomato, do you have to go
No. I mean,
a boater, or
No, I mean
deer stalker for when I'm hoovering.
No, I just mean when I'm working outside. Anything to do with digging, weeding, seeding, whatever I'm doing outside in the garden, have to have a hat on.
Have to have your barnet
I
covered.
don't like my hair being in my eyes. Do you remember that programme that used to be about gardening with the glorious Charlie Dimmock?
Oh, braless Charlie Dimmock.
Well, and hatless.
Braless and hatless.
She had this incredible hair.
Yeah, still does.
Yes.
A mane, a beautiful hair.
And she never tied it back and I just kept thinking, how on earth does she manage to dig a hole with all of that hair in the way?
No, I couldn't do that.
No,
So my hair is pretty wild and crazy because I cut it myself mainly. And it always looks like I've been sleeping in a skip. I cannot lie. But the idea of having it meshed in my eyelashes, that's like, no, I don't want that.
No, I actually cut my own hair once. Famously, I don't think I've ever told you this. You may already know, I was very lucky to be part of building a Chelsea garden.
What? Why have you never mentioned this? Hiding that light under a bushel.
Back in 2003. Famously, we had one outfit ready to meet the Queen in. So we scrubbed up, made sure that we had got rid of the dirt under our fingernails. And my hair was completely wild. And so the only thing I had to hand, of course, were my secateurs. So I managed to cut my fringe of my hair with my secateurs before I met the Queen.
I think that's delightfully apt.
Yes.
Kind of a gardener's story, isn't it? You have to cut your hair with I've always cut my own hair because it's very, big and full and layered and a bit chaotic. I just chop a bit when I feel like it.
Can I have a go?
Yeah, anyone can.
I reckon I'd be quite good at cutting. I've always quite fancied being a hairdresser.
I let Josh and his friend cut my hair once when I went from long to a bob, and I went, yeah, just cut it, and they did. And somebody got home and went, what have they done? I was like, it's only hair, but it was pretty traumatic, actually.
Oh, well, perhaps, I say I'd quite fancy being a hairdresser because I really get bored having my hair cut. Sitting in the hairdressers, and bless them, they do like to chat, don't they?
I love that. That's my best bit. It's like my social life. When I go to my hairdressers, Nat and all the girls, oh my gosh, I love it. I learn about their lives. We gossip about rubbish. We talk about TV. And for me, it's just as social as it is about getting my hair done. I love it there.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it.
I just get twitchy.
Do you get
After about half an hour, I'm beginning to twitch. And Adam and Nikki, my lovely hairdressers, they are lovely. It's not that I don't like seeing them, but even they say, can you try and sit still?
You're like,
it won't be much longer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like talking to a 6-year-old.
Do you get a lolly and a book to distract you?
The problem is they keep feeding me coffee, which makes me even more twitchy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
They need to give you a Horlicks pen is what they need to do. How do you stand on head massages at the sink?
There are some really bad ones, aren't there?
I hate it.
Really?
I cannot abide it. If anyone goes to give me a head massage, literally it's karate chop. I can't. I cannot cope with it. I think it's partly because I think massages are something sexy. I know that's on me. But I'm like, oh no, don't do that. No, I don't like it. And I find it intensely irritating. And I remember when I first met Sim, he used to like rubbing his fingers up and down my arm when we were watching TV. And he'd do it for like 4 seconds and I'd think, I'm going to have to punch him. But I don't know what to do because obviously it's a sign of affection. He likes it when I do it in reverse. I'm like, please don't do that. It like sets every nerve ending just like going crazy. I can't cope.
How bizarre.
Yeah.
So I suppose a foot massage is out of the question.
Filth. No, don't want that. No, I'm not sure.
You know, that's the thing. I absolutely love having my feet massaged.
Sweet Lord. I mean, I love you, Pen, but I ain't never touching your trotters. Never. That ain't happening. No way. Actually, post-menopause, I am losing so much hair. My hair is really thin.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a well-known thing?
Yeah, I think it is. Well, when I was pregnant too, I lost quite a lot of hair. But yeah, I've noticed particularly over the last, well, I mean, I've been out the other side of menopause for quite a while. But why are you, Penny, I can see you're losing it. Oh my God.
Only because I just keep thinking, you're losing it off your head, but you're gaining a moustache. She's got the Poirot moustache going, but she's losing it on her head.
Do you know, it's true. I also have a little beard, but I'm kind of like, my beard is like one of those, I don't know, kind of like Charles II style, like spiky little things. Like I've got 5 whiskers.
No, I've just got one. I've got one whisker, but it just grows. I swear to God, it grows overnight.
I've said to the kids and my husband, look, you know, if ever the worst should happen and I am incapacitated in hospital or even in a funeral home, I don't care about anything, but please just pluck them. I can't bear the idea of people going, oh my God, what is that? You know, it's just so offensive to me. So you're right, yeah, losing it off my head, but sprouting on the chinage. It's not fair,
How are
is
your
it?
ears?
No, don't be, what? Ears?
You're not getting hairs in your ears as well?
Are you? No. Is this your way of telling me?
But that's why I've got longer hair.
This reminds me of this conversation I once had at a dinner party. I hate dinner parties. Went to a dinner party many, many years ago and I didn't want to go, felt very uncomfortable. And this lady sat next to me. She said, well, I had a cesarean when I had Jack. And I went, oh, I had a cesarean when I had Josh. I went, and it awful, that terrible sort of pouch that hangs over your stomach after a cesarean. Do you know what I mean? She went, no, I absolutely don't. And I went, no, me neither. I mean, that would be terrible. If I had that, I'd hate it. I still say I'm carrying baby weight. They're nearly 30. When do you think that excuse can wear off? But similarly, when I did have a cesarean, I got a letter saying, do not do any housework, do not use the Hoover. Well, I still haven't had a letter to say that I can start. And until that comes through the post pen, better
That's your excuse.
Err on the side of caution.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, thinning hair is really horrible because I can now see my sort of parting is wider and I'm losing it here, like, you know, like male pattern baldness up the sides. It's really upsetting. I know a lot of women feel very, you know, it's a big thing, isn't it?
Hair is a big thing. Definitely. It is a very big thing. And people say, oh, do you have a bad hair day? You know, is it just bad generally or is it particular days? That's why I wear a hat all the time.
Yeah, that answers it. I wonder if I'm deficient in something. Well, many things, but I wonder if maybe my hair loss is because I'm a bit vitamin deficient.
Are there supplements that
there
you can
might
take?
be. Dear listener, let us know if there's anything that you can think of that might help with my menopause thinning hair. Because yeah, it's a bit grim. But it's weird, isn't it? The things you worry about, they change as you get older.
Oh, most definitely they do change.
What have you let go of as you've aged that used to bother you in your 30s?
What have I let go of?
This is a good time to say we have a sniffing, snorting dog in the background.
It's not me making
absolutely.
weird
In case
noise.
anyone can hear those snorts,
yes.
You know, it is Bobo who's coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing I do.
One thing I do.
Which is probably really stupid, but that is the dog drinking out of the bowl, by the way. Is every morning I obviously clean my face, brush my teeth, all of that.
I never clean my face.
You don't clean your face in the morning?
Never. I never ever clean my... Never.
You must do.
I don't.
So you don't use any products on your face?
I don't use any products. I don't cleanse, tone and moisturise, and I don't wash my face, and I never ever have. That might be disgusting, but
you not even with soap?
Never. I've never put soap on my face. I've never washed my face.
Dear listener, I must just tell you, she has the most beautiful, beautiful skin.
I don't think I do.
No, you have. You have got beautiful, beautiful clear skin.
I've never done anything because I remember my nan saying to me 150 years ago, she said, if you muck about with your skin, then you can change its natural doodah. She was a scientist. You can change its natural doodah, she said, and I've never done anything. And my nan had great skin, and I thought, well, I'm going to do that then. So I just never did. Plus, I'm so lazy. I can't be bothered buying creams and unctions and potions. I don't subscribe to all that.
I'm just absolutely flabbergasted.
No, I've never done it.
I just can't believe that you don't. So when you get in the shower, you obviously get your face wet.
A little bit with water. You know, if water.
What about mascara?
Honestly, I feel like I'm giving away my dirtiest secrets, but
I'm just so shocked.
my mascara. So this mascara you're looking at, I probably shouldn't say. What day is it today? Whatever. I've had it on for 4 days.
Does it not come off in bed?
No.
What about when you're laughing like I was?
No.
It doesn't come off. It must be very waterproof.
I don't know. I just put it on and then I've never ever taken it off. I never take makeup off. I don't wear anything on my face at all. I never have. So that's not a problem. But I do wear mascara. And if I'm working, if I'm doing anything PRE or telly or anything, I do obviously I have to wear makeup then. But no, I never ever wash my face, cleanse, tone, moisture, nothing.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I have to say that's that's how I sleep at night, because it's a big part of my little routine before I go to bed. And they do say, don't they, that if you to help you have a good night's sleep, you need to start this routine so that your mind knows that you're getting ready for a sleep time.
And I do that. I do that by watching the Durrells, as I might have already mentioned, and eating a sneaky digestive and doing my little ritual. So I do have a bath before bed and put my clean PJs on and obviously build my nest. And I do have, I'm telling you all the secrets today, I have a little tiny pillow that's about, 12 inches square. It's a small thing. And it's my buddy, and I have to sleep with that. So I get buddy, put him just under my cheek, and that's how I sleep. Without him, I can't sleep.
Have you always had him?
For about 20 years. And when it starts getting thin and going home, as we say, I have to get another one, a replacement. It takes me a while to love them as much. But I'm probably on buddy mark 5 or 6 now, yeah.
Who gave you your original buddy?
My mum.
Aww.
Yeah, I think just as a sort of bed cushion, and it was really nice and felt nice. And it was small, so it sort of just fitted here. And it's become a bit of a crutch for me, and I can only sleep with it. I love it.
That is, well, I'm learning so much about you that I didn't know.
However, I do not remove or clean my face. Maybe I'd feel better if I did wash my face. But
Honestly,
I don't know what to do. I don't know how you start it.
I can make some suggestions. I'm sure there's lots of people out there shouting as we speak.
But I'm worried that, I've never had spots, very, very fortunately.
No, I've never seen you with a spot.
No, I never do. I'm worried that if I start it, I might do something that affects my skin, which is just used to being this way.
I really am surprised, because your skin is so lovely. I just automatically assumed that you used all sorts of things on it.
I find it incredible, the amount of money that people spend on this stuff. And I think if you're buying it because it makes you feel better and it makes your skin feel nice and it gives you confidence, do it. My gosh, I love my mascara. I buy the cheapest mascara possible. It's almost, it's like tar. And I love wearing it and it makes me feel great. So I understand that we do have rituals and things, particularly with makeup and self-care, that make us feel good. Do that, whatever works for you, absolutely. But for me, I've never subscribed. When you look at what's in face cream, it's always like 80-90% water with a little bit of flavouring and colouring. And I think they're all the same. And it goes through different fashions. 1 minute we're supposed to be, looking for pentapeptides. The next minute it's hyaluronic acid. The next thing it's this, it's that, it's estrogen, collagen, whatever. But there's always something that's the new thing. But does that mean that what we were doing 10 years ago now no longer works? Do we have to...
I have to say, as I've got older, I've used different moisturisers. Also, my skin does get a bit of a battering outside. Yeah. And I think the elements outside do affect your skin, definitely. Obviously, very important. I always wear a hat outside, make sure we're covered up. And obviously, because we're weeding or digging most of the time, I'm face downwards, not face up. But hopefully I'm not face up. So I have always felt that a really good... Obviously, sun cream, you must use sun cream. You don't use sun cream. But then you're normally in your cave.
I am writing. And to be honest, I used to be a crazy sun worshipper, as we all were in sort of our teens and 20s. I can remember horrifically putting baby oil on my face and laying in the sun to get a real crisp, tan on my face and shoulders,
like
which God knows
roast
damage.
potato.
Oh, just terrible, really terrible. Because we were unaware, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I think that's some of the things we did, just crazy, really. And obviously education, we know not to do that anymore. Since I was probably 40, I don't go in the sun unless I have to. And I always wear a hat in the sun, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I think that's really, I just don't want to do any more damage. But also I just think, I don't know, there's so much pressure on us to buy this stuff for that momentary high, or because we're told we need to, or because everyone else seems to be doing it. It's like, it's the same with weight, with skincare, with your face, even haircuts, even going to the hairdressers, these ludicrous amounts of money we spend. For what? I just think ageing is such a privilege.
It is, but I think it does have the feel-good factor.
Yeah.
And I think if that is one of the things that makes you feel good about yourself, then it's definitely worth doing.
100%. I completely agree with you. And I think, we are so much more aware of mental health and how our mental health is dependent on all those little things that make us feel better or good. Do it, do whatever makes you feel better. My personal choice is to not subscribe to anything like that, because I feel I would get almost a bit obsessed with it. And I can see that I would start by cleansing and toning, and then it would be a moisturiser, and then it would be a facial, and then it would be I can see how you get hooked into doing it all, and I don't want to do any of it. Maybe I'm lazy.
I don't think you're lazy. I think for me it has to be quick. So I don't mind spending a little bit of extra money on a good moisturiser, but a lot of my makeup probably I've had for the last 20 years, and I don't really use makeup at all.
But have you ever looked at the contents of your moisturiser compared to the ones you've rejected, or ones that are maybe cheaper or more expensive on the market? Aren't they all basically the same? Am I being ignorant? I might be.
I think you're probably right. They probably are all the same. But I can actually see the difference between using one or the other.
Yeah.
I have actually noticed the difference.
And like my mum she has very sensitive skin. So if she uses something with a high perfume content,
oh yeah,
she will feel very sore and it will inflame her face. But she still spends a lot of money on things that are perfume free. And I say, well, isn't that just the same as Nivea cold cream or Astral or Simple or any of these brands that you can pick up on a supermarket shelf for like £4 instead of spending 30 or 40 a jar? I just don't understand it. But I'm willing to be converted,
I think if it's a health issue like sun cream, I'm a great believer in that. But on the other hand, I do see your point. But for me, I think I've kept using the same things regularly, probably for the last 30 years. And I think you just get into a habit, don't
That's
you?
it, isn't it? You've bought into the brand and you're used to it, and your skin's probably used to it as well.
But we're both terrible ambassadors for the world of fashion.
Don't even.
Because a lot of people, you're talking about things that make people feel good. A lot of people, once a week, will go down the Mall, which is a shopping precinct close to us. They will go there regularly and they will buy a whole outfit every single time. And you and I
don't know anyone that does that.
Don't you? Oh, I do know people that do
I don't know anyone that does
No, I
that.
do know people that do.
Then I don't have many friends.
But you and I get quite excited if I buy a new pair of work boots because my old ones have worn out.
I can witness that you do get very excited.
Yes.
About new work boots.
I don't really like shopping for clothes.
No, I don't.
I do try. I try and like it because I feel I should.
See, that's another thing. I think I've got enough clothes, and my clothes are, these jeans are probably 12 years old. This shirt was when I was working in an office. I haven't done that for 15 years. But they just last, and until they wear out, I won't buy new. I just can't be bothered with it, Pen.
No.
And it's weird because I think when I look back to when I was younger, I had so much confidence that it didn't matter what I wore. I felt like I could take over the world. I would wing it. I'd do anything. People would say, we need Ham with this heart surgery. I go, oh yeah, I'll come and do that. That's fine. Or can someone come and drive this JCB? Hey, Benjamin. I'd be like, yeah, hello, I'll come and do that. That's brilliant. I felt like I could take on the world and win. And as I've got older, that sense of fearlessness that I could do anything has deserted me.
I think we do get a little bit less confident as we get older. But then I really feel that, not that time is running out, but that now is the time. If you want to try something new, now is when you have to try it.
Yeah.
But same as you. I mean, I did a secretarial course.
Secretarial Pitman.
Yes.
Pitman
Yes,
wanted to.
I
Yep,
used to be
love
able
it.
to do shorthand at 120 words a minute. Oh, I was flying. I really was. Does anybody do shorthand anymore?
Yeah, journalists quite a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting. I thought about that the other day. Yeah. But yeah, so I did the secretarial course, and part of one of the modules was we had to do interview skills.
Oh, hello.
And so we would go in and they would hand us a piece of paper and it would be selected from all these different possible jobs. So it might be a plumber, a barrister, teacher, something like that, which obviously none of us knew anything about. And we had to sit there and act as if we were going for a job for that job. So we literally were winging it completely.
Love that.
I went as a plumber's assistant.
Did you get the job pen?
Handed the piece of paper, and I was even making up weird things that a plumber might use. Well,
Could you pass the warble wrench, please?
and this bracket that fits behind the cistern. It's really important. So
My brother's a plumber. He might take you on.
yeah. But it was, it was sort of teaching you that if you actually said things in a certain way, people believe you.
That's a very good lesson.
Let's face it, my whole life, my job is based on me telling people that this is going to look wonderful when there's a part of me that goes, oh my goodness, I really hope it is.
And it always does. And funny enough, my job's very similar. You know, I sit there making up stories that just come out of my head, sticking all those words down and hope someone else enjoys it. It's not that dissimilar, is it really?
No, it's not actually.
I've had some disasters though. I can remember when I was 18, I used to work for Trust House 40 in their hotel just outside Bristol. And I used to do silver service. I was a wonderful waitress. I loved waitressing. My best job ever by far. I used to laugh from the moment I arrived to the moment I left. It was just honestly hilarious. I still like to waitress now. I think I could go back to that easily because I just found it so much fun. If you work with the right people, it's just brilliant. And I can remember one day they said, "Oh, we're gonna swap with the hotel in Bath, the one in Queen Square. I think it's called the Russell Hotel. It used to be called. I don't know what the name is it now, but it has a very fancy bar. Can someone run the bar while they're having their Christmas party, and then they're going to come and look after our hotel while we have our Christmas party?" Well, that sounded fair. And I was the only one of the troupe who was 18, so they put me in this bar. They said, "There's no calculator or anything, but don't worry, just add up the drinks rounds in your head." I was thinking, I can't do the most basic mathematics. This is an absolute disaster. And people were coming up and saying, "Oh, can I have, 2 baby shams, pint of mild and a Guinness, please?" I was like, "Yes, certainly. That's what do you usually pay?" And they were going, "Oh, well, I don't know. Let's have a look." And I was making the customers do their own sums. And they were going, "Oh, yeah, I think that's £3.50. I was like, "Fine, £3.50. This was a long time ago." Anyway, at the end of the night, they came along and they were like, "What's happened to the till?" And I was like, "I don't know." They said, "We are so down. It's like, have you been giving it away?" And I was like, "Well, no, but I can't do any sums." So they had to give me their own. And literally, customers must have had a brilliant night.
The most amazing. I'd be a terrible waitress.
Oh,
I'd be like Mrs. Overall. I can't carry a tray.
Are these macaroons on a low light since Wednesday? Love
I
that.
cannot carry a tray to save my life.
Yeah.
And yet I'm Mrs. Spirit Level. I can literally look at a line and tell you whether it's straight or not. That's me. But I cannot carry a tray. I end up with all the tea in the tray and none in the cup.
I've got a non-slip tray you can borrow.
Oh,
It'd change your life, Ben.
Yeah.
Waitressing gives you good skills. I loved it because it made me learn how to work with a team. I was, you're dependent on what's coming out the kitchen. You have to take a lot of flack for something that is nothing to do with you. Food isn't cooked the way they liked it or the way they think it's going to be served or whatever. You get an awful lot of rubbish, but actually it's the people in the kitchen who've cooked the food. And so you just have to learn to be an intermediary. Is that the right word?
Intermediary.
Be an intermediate. You have to learn to intermediate. But it was just, I don't know, really good life lessons. And I can just remember laughing so much because it was just so funny. We worked really hard, but the money was great. Tips were great.
I think as well, youngsters all should learn to work in a shop because then they wouldn't be quite so dismissive of people that work in shops.
Yeah, but youngsters are like, "What's shops? We don't go to shops anymore. We just click online." It's not going to be relevant to them, is it?
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, or call centres, because occasionally we get the odd cold call and I just don't give them 1 inch. But you used to work in a call centre, didn't you?
I did. I've done that a lot. And there was times in my life when I've had 2 or 3 jobs. So one job would be I'd be cleaning offices, another I'd be in a call centre, working in a shop during the day, whatever. I sort of managed to keep everything afloat by doing all of it and working pretty much 7 days a week, which I regret actually. I think because Josh was little, I maybe would have been better off dropping one of those jobs, worrying a little bit less about, having enough and just spending more time with him. But hey, hindsight and all that.
At the time, that was the decision that you made. And
it was economic.
Yeah.
I had no choice. It was economic. Until I met Simeon, I was a single mum, and it was horrible, really. I think about it. It wasn't glamorous or fun. I just found it really hard.
But that's what's made you into the driven person that you are.
Yeah, I think so, Pam. But call centre work was really, again, it depended who you work with. But I've had some really rotten jobs where people were just really horrible to you on the phone. And so now when I get those cold calls, it is irritating. But I know what it feels like to be dialing and just have people reject you and put the phone down. I always try to be as pleasant as possible because I think it's a really tough gig.
Well, I totally agree with you, but I still find it difficult to have unsolicited phone calls. That's what but it's not their fault.
No.
It's the company that decides that they're going to try ringing around 1 million people to get one person to talk to them.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important for social skills, for teenagers to work in an environment where, they might have had a rubbish day and not really feel like it. But you have to smile and learn those social skills.
But also texting removes all of that emotion. So it's like you don't have to think about the intonation in your voice or eye contact or anything like that, do you? If you're texting all the time rather than having a conversation. And I know my boys would rather text me than anything. They don't really want to call and chat. But I know calling my mum to chat and my dad to chat is really important. There'll be a time when I will long to hear their voice down a phone line, and I'm really conscious of it.
We've got very good within the family at Facetiming.
Yeah, we do that. It's good.
And I really like it. Since COVID, we did a lot of Facetiming, and I feel much more part of their lives.
Yeah.
If you can FaceTime and see what's going on in the background.
Oh, Pen.
And, this week has been so wonderful. We had this amazing FaceTime with my grandson, Monty, driving his little battery-operated tractor down the lane. It was so cute. It was really wonderful to be part of that.
Yeah.
And then my other grandson, Wild, seeing him up on his little knees for the first time.
Yeah.
You feel part because you can't be there 24/7.
No.
You actually feel a part of their lives.
I think if I'd had FaceTime, if it had been around when Josh was little and I was working away or working all those hours, it would have had a dramatically different outcome to our lives. I think it would have connected us in a way that I didn't know how much he was missing me, and I certainly knew how much I was missing him. To be able to read him a bedtime story while I'm on the bus, to be able to just see him having, his tea, all that stuff would have made a massive difference to me. And I'm thankful for that technology.
Do you know what? I was just thinking, so if your husband works away, for example, in the army or, in any of the services, do you get an opportunity to bring home? Are you allowed to do that?
It varies for us. So sometimes Simeon was in situations when he was on tour that it wouldn't have been safe for, how can I phrase it? It wouldn't have been safe for me to know where he was or him to be distracted by my call.
Yeah,
and that's fine. I have to just leave him to get on with the job he's got to do. And there are other times where he might be, back at base or in an airport, and we can chat for maybe 20 minutes. And it is just...
Must be wonderful.
Oh, Pen. There's been a couple of times when I've been speaking to him and I've heard things in the background and the phone's gone dead and your heart is in your throat. And you just think, what's happening? Where is he? Is he okay? And your mind, of course, runs riot instantly to the very worst things. But he explained to me, I wasn't used to an army life. I've been an army wife now for many, many years. I married a soldier, so I kind of knew what I was getting into, although I didn't. And he always said to me that if anything bad happened, I would know very quickly. And so if you don't hear for 6 hours, 12 hours, you don't need to worry. The sort of chain of communication is extremely slick, and it's they're very, very good at that stuff. So I didn't really worry so much if I didn't hear from him. But it's hard, particularly when you're at home and you've got a lot on, you're looking after the kids. And like us, we were in some really ropey accommodation a lot of the time. And I remember when the Military Wives had that song in the charts. Do you remember?
Oh, yes, yeah.
And very cleverly, Gareth Malone, they wrote the song based on the contents of letters, the blueies, I think, that they'd sent back and forth to each other, their husbands or wives, their partners, to each other. And I said to Simeon, I would love to have had my letters included. I'd love to be in the Military Wives Choir. And he said, let me just read one of the letters. And it was literally, I'm so fed up. I hate my life. When you're coming home, I can't get the bin down the drive. The kids are driving me out. More of a rat, maybe. I don't know.
So if you could save something, supposing your house was about to burn down, and you could save something, would it be your phone?
No, definitely not pen. I mean, probably if I needed to call the fire brigade.
I was going to say.
So if the house was burning, I think I have some things that are very sentimental, have great meaning to me. My granddad's reading glasses that I got when he died.
Aww.
And he was a great book reader, and he loved books, and he loved reading, and books were his escape in his life, pretty much like they are for me, for lots of us. I'd have his reading glasses, and my brother passed away. I've got his belt. Such a silly thing.
No, I know it sounds silly, but it's something that you remember him wearing.
Yeah.
Which is really important.
I've got a leather belt of his that he always wore when he wasn't working on his jeans.
Yeah.
And
my father worked for the Oxford University Press, and all the time he used to be reading. That was always, I would walk into the lounge and he'd be sitting on the end of the sofa reading. And it was quite often something like Samuel Pepys or Charles Dickens and things like that. Great long, he had available masses of books from that particular author. And so his books were really important to me after he died. And we kept all of the books. We had masses of books in the house. And I've still got all those books. And I can even picture them in the order that they were in the bookshelves. And it's such a strong memory.
Yeah, see, my dad had a copy of the Haynes car manual for his Cortina. And we had a Littlewoods catalogue. And I picture them up on the shelf, just waiting to
Do you remember the catalogues?
Oh, I loved the catalogue.
Love looking through the catalogues.
Put a ring round everything you wanted for Christmas.
And then you used to have to make the payments at the post office.
I don't think we actually bought anything from the catalogue.
Oh, didn't you?
We'd get them delivered though, a big fat Littlewoods one. And I would go through and literally ring everything I wanted. If they'd had Brevilles in those days, I'd have been ringing a Breville pen, because as you know, that's my favourite thing in the world. It was millions of pounds I think I wanted from that catalogue. I never got anything, but it didn't matter because, I played with it all in my head, I think.
Do you know, I remember my boys, at Christmas, they used to get an Argus catalogue.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to ring everything in the Argus catalogue that they wanted.
Yeah.
And there was once this lovely Santa's letter from Joel that said, Dear Santa, I know there's rather a lot on my list this year, but I couldn't decide in the Argus catalogue.
Oh, yeah.
Actually mentioned the Argus catalogue.
Yeah, big up Argus.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Love
they
that.
loved it. Absolutely loved it. So I think, a book probably. I would probably save one of his books.
Funny, isn't it? Nice. We're not talking about our vast, collection of diamonds and jewels. Not that we have any. I don't have any anyway. But that doesn't matter, does it? Those things don't matter.
No, strangely. Actually, I do have a medallion that I wear all the time.
You do?
With that I was given when I lived in Spain.
Penny, stop it! I'm gonna go again. Oh, dear.
So there are precious things, but they're not the things that you would expect. My secateurs.
Your secateurs.
I'd save my secateurs.
Yeah. I'd save my secateurs too, if I had some. Darling, it's been lovely to chat to you. Sorry I cried. I don't like doing that.
But that's the point, you see.
Yeah.
When you chat with somebody, you should be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And we do.
We definitely do. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We've really enjoyed having a chat, haven't we?
We have. So like us, follow us. Let us know what you think and give us any comments on our Instagram page, which is
@the Chit Chatters.
And thank you. Until next time, take care.
Bye.